Chosen one, hear this. The hour has arrived, and heaven itself has been holding its breath to speak into your life. 2 hours have passed in waiting, yet this very moment is the appointed time for you to listen, not with distracted ears, not with a wandering mind, but with the stillness of one who knows destiny is knocking at the door. You are not scrolling here by accident. The King of Heaven has paused everything to meet you right now. You have felt it, those restless nights, the weight of decisions, the questions no one can answer. The world may call it coincidence, but in the kingdom there is no such word. You are here because you are marked. You are the chosen one in this generation. And this message is the divine interruption your soul has been longing for. Do you know how heaven sees you? You are like a lantern carried through a storm. Winds may howl, rain may pour, but the flame does not surrender. The winds of trial blew, the rains of sorrow drenched you, yet the fire inside has not gone out. Tonight, heaven breathes upon that flame until it blazes again. There comes a moment when waiting must end, and action must begin. Many live their lives standing at the doorway, never stepping through. But you, chosen one, were never meant to live half awake. God has been preparing you in the silence, shaping your spirit in the shadows, because your unveiling is near. I think of another chosen one, long ago, who endured a season of waiting. Imagine Joseph, falsely accused, thrown into a prison cell, forgotten by men, but never forgotten by God. His nights were long, his heart heavy, yet he held on, and when the appointed hour struck, in a single day he rose from the pit to the palace. You, too, may feel forgotten, but your story is not finished. What looks like delay is divine timing, carefully orchestrated for your unveiling. We are reminded in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come, not delay. Chosen one, this is not a distant promise, it is your present reality. The delay you feel is not denial, it is orchestration. Heaven's timing is not late, it is exact. Just as the sun rises on cue and rivers know their course, so too will your destiny arrive at its appointed hour. Like an arrow resting in the archer's hand, your stillness is preparation for the release that will send you farther than you imagined. Pause and let this truth wash over you. Your waiting is not wasted. Every tear you shed watered seeds beneath the soil. And now the season of sprouting begins. What others mocked in you, heaven is about to magnify. The scars you hid will soon shine like medals of honor, proof that you endured what others could not. The world has tried to tell you that you are ordinary, but you know deep down that something in you does not fit the mold. You feel the tension because you were never created to blend in. You were carved for more, stitched together with threads of eternity. Darkness fears you because light radiates from you even when you feel broken. And now the call comes. Lift up your voice, lift up your faith, and step boldly. This is more than inspiration. This is an awakening. If your heart stirs as these words echo, do not remain silent. Respond. Let your spirit make a sound. Let the heavens know you are ready. Chosen one, this is where I invite you to take action, not because of algorithms, not because of numbers, but because every outward act is a prophetic sign of inward surrender. If this word is for you, let it be known. Share it so that another wandering heart finds direction. Press like so that the light spreads further into the night. Subscribe, not to follow a channel, but to stay connected to the stream of living words God keeps releasing for you. And when you are moved, leave your comment. It is not for me. It is your declaration to heaven that you heard his call. And now, seal this moment. At the end of this first step in your journey, mark your agreement with a number that carries prophetic weight. Type 111 inches, the comments below. 1 is the number of alignment, of new beginning, of unity with God's purpose. By writing it, you declare, I step into my beginning. I align with my destiny. I rise as the chosen one. Chosen one. Now we walk deeper. The voice that interrupted your life is not done speaking. The first awakening was only the opening of the door. This step carries you into the chambers of memory, where wounds you thought were curses are revealed as witnesses. Every scar has a story. Some you have tried to hide. Some you tried to forget. But heaven has kept them, like pages in a book. They are not meant to shame you. They are evidence that you have survived. Your story is not one of defeat, but of endurance. And endurance is the seed of destiny. Think of how you have carried invisible weights. Words spoken against you that cut deep. Betrayals that hollowed your chest. Seasons of lack, where you wondered if God had turned his face away. Those moments, though painful, have been shaping you like a craftsman's hammer shapes metal. The blows were not random. They were forming you into a vessel strong enough to hold what is coming. I once knew of a young woman who carried wounds from rejection. Friends turned their backs. Family misunderstood her, and she learned to walk through crowds while feeling unseen. Yet, in her loneliness, she discovered prayer. Night after night, she poured her heart out. And in that hidden place, strength took root. Years later, she became a voice of comfort for many who felt abandoned. Her wounds became her credentials. Her tears, the very ink with which she spoke life into others. Chosen one. Your story carries the same pattern. What hurt you most will heal others most. You are not carrying dead weight, you are carrying oil, pressed out through suffering, destined to flow into the lives of many. There is imagery in your life like pottery fired in a furnace. Clay in its raw state is fragile, it crumbles in the hand. But clay placed into the fire, though it trembles in the heat, emerges unbreakable. That furnace is your testimony. The heat did not destroy you, it completed you. Do not despise the nights of tears. Heaven counts them. Do not despise the rejection, for it separated you for holiness. Do not despise the times of silence, for they carved out room for a deeper voice within you. You are being shaped by hands that see the end from the beginning. The writings of the Apostle remind us in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. These are not empty words. They are a declaration that your weakness is not a liability. It is a stage for God's strength to be displayed. Every place you feel broken becomes a canvas for His power. That is why your wounds matter not as a reminder of pain, but as proof that grace carried you through. Let me speak plainly. You have been misunderstood. People saw only the surface of your struggle, not the depth of your assignment. They labeled you fragile when heaven called you resilient. They thought your silence meant defeat. But your silence was a seed planted in the soil of God's timing. The misunderstanding of others is not the measure of your worth. Heaven has already named you, chosen, and that title cannot be revoked. Picture this: a vineyard after a storm. Leaves are torn, vines are bent, but the roots remain unshaken. When the season changes, fruit still appears, sweeter than before because of the struggle. That is you. The storm was real, the damage visible, but the root of your faith held firm. And now, the sweetness of your testimony will feed many who hunger for hope. This is the paradox of the chosen. You carry wounds that would have crushed others, yet you rise with strength that cannot be explained. Your life is a contradiction to the logic of this world. Where others see ruin, heaven sees foundation. Where others see weakness, heaven sees glory. Chosen one. Your wounds are not disqualifications, they are qualifications. They tell the story of resilience, of survival, of divine faithfulness. Every time you thought it was over, grace whispered, "Not yet." Every time darkness tried to drown you, light spoke, "Rise," and rise you did. That rising is the evidence that you are marked, sealed, and purposed. So now, instead of hiding the scars, you begin to understand them. They are signposts pointing to the hand of God in your life. They remind you that you are not here by strength alone. You are here because destiny demanded your survival. This is your inheritance, to look at the very places that hurt you and say, "Even here, I see the fingerprints of God." No, the world does not understand such faith, but heaven smiles. Because this is the mark of a true chosen one. You walk through fire, and though the flames touched you, they did not consume you. Chosen one. Now you stand before a threshold. This is the place where your story bends. On one side lies the comfort of what you know. On the other side, the path of destiny that demands courage. Many have reached this moment and turned back. But you were never called to turn back. You were called to step forward. Even when the path is narrow, the threshold is not wide or easy. It feels like walking across a rope bridge, swaying in the wind. Yet what waits on the other side is the fulfillment of every prayer you whispered in the dark. The enemy wants you paralyzed here, at the edge, staring into the unknown until fear convinces you to stay still. But silence is not safety. Waiting here forever will only steal what heaven intended for you. Let me tell you of a young man I once knew. He dreamed of building a life of faith, but feared failure. For years he stood at the doorway of obedience, hesitating. He was like a traveler staring at a locked gate, though the key was already in his hand. One night, in the stillness of prayer, he felt God whisper, "Take one step." He did. And though nothing looked different at first, doors began to open, opportunities emerged, and strength filled his spirit. His life changed, not when he saw the full path, but when he dared to take the first step. That is where you stand now. The threshold is here. The choice is yours. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Joshua. Chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And this is not an empty encouragement, it is a command. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is movement despite fear. Courage is what separates the called from the chosen, and the chosen from the crowned. You already know what heaven is asking of you. It might be forgiveness you do not want to give. It might be a step of faith that feels too costly. It might be surrender where you have clung to control. But the call is clear. Step across the threshold. Picture yourself as a seed in the soil. A seed that refuses to break open will never see the sun, but when it surrenders to the dark pressure, it bursts and new life springs forth. The threshold is that breaking point, painful, but pregnant with new beginnings. Now, here is where I ask you to act, not just listen. Write these words in the comments. I cross over. This is not a ritual, not superstition. It is a prophetic act. When you type it, you declare that you will not live stuck at the doorway of destiny. You are speaking into the unseen realm, telling heaven and earth alike, I will not remain in hesitation. I choose movement. I choose obedience. I choose to step. Now, do you realize the power in such a declaration? Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and words written carry weight in the spirit. When you write it, it becomes more than thought. It becomes covenant. You are no longer just thinking about moving forward. You are testifying that you already have, and once you cross, everything shifts. Fear loses its grip. Confusion clears. You begin to notice guidance where before there was only silence. God does not reveal the entire road in one moment, but He always gives enough light for the next step. Chosen one. Let this sink in. The threshold is not your prison. It is your passage. The trembling in your heart is not weakness. It is the vibration of destiny stirring your spirit awake. And heaven is waiting for your response. So do not look back. Do not linger. Step, declare, and watch the doors open as you move forward. So do not look back. Do not linger. Step, declare, and watch the doors open as you move forward. The threshold is not just a line on the ground. It is the line between old identity and new authority. When you step, you leave behind the labels others placed on you. Failure, weak, unworthy. They fall away like old garments. What you step into is the name heaven has already written: chosen, appointed, anointed. Understand this. Hesitation drains strength, but obedience releases it. The moment you act, energy that seemed hidden inside you bursts forth. Fear collapses because fear cannot stand where faith is moving. Crossing over is not about a single moment. It is about a posture of life. Each day, you rise and declare, I cross over. You remind your soul that today you will not live bound by yesterday. That is the rhythm of the chosen one, ever crossing, ever advancing, ever rising. Chosen one. The road you walk is not straight but woven with mysteries. You are learning that mercy itself is not weakness, nor is it indulgence. It is strategy. Heaven has ways of moving that seem strange at first glance. Yet when you look deeper, you realize every pause, every reprieve, every delay has been designed for your protection. Think back to the times when you expected judgment, when you thought consequences would crush you, yet instead mercy appeared. It may have confused you. You may have wondered, why was I spared? Why was I given another chance? But mercy was not an accident. It was a thread in a divine plan. Mercy is like a shepherd's staff. Sometimes it pulls you close when you wander. Other times It presses against your chest to stop you from walking off a cliff. What feels like denial may actually be protection. What looks like God withholding may actually be God waiting until the right moment. Consider the story of Jonah. He ran in rebellion, boarded a ship to flee the call of God. And when the storm raged, he could have perished. Yet mercy arranged a great fish to swallow him whole. It seemed like punishment, yet in truth, it was preservation. Mercy confined him, not to destroy, but to deliver him back to his assignment. Chosen one, think of your own life. The doors that closed before you were not rejection, they were redirections. The relationships that ended were not abandonment. They were mercy clearing space for what could not grow in crowded soil. Even the battles you lost were mercy shielding you from victories that would have crushed you unprepared. The ancient words recorded in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 22, declare, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail." End of teen. This is why you are still standing, not because you made no mistakes, but because mercy stood guard over you. If judgment had its way, your story would have ended long ago. But mercy whispered, "Not yet." Mercy stood between you and the pit, between you and shame, between you and final defeat. Mercy, however, is not random. It is purposeful. It gives space for growth, for transformation, for deeper understanding. Like rain that delays a harvest, it may seem to slow things down, but in truth it prepares the soil to yield more abundantly. Picture yourself as a tree in winter. Branches are bare. Cold winds pierce. Nothing seems alive. Yet, below the ground, roots stretch deeper, unseen. That hidden work is mercy. It covers you in seasons when you appear lifeless, so that when spring arrives, you will burst forth stronger than ever. Strange mercy has touched you more than once. It is why you survived the accident, why you healed when others said you would not, why you found strength to rise when despair tried to bury you. And this mercy, though quiet, has been a shield around your destiny. But mercy is not an excuse for complacency. It is an invitation. To receive mercy is to be given time, a gift to step into obedience, to align your heart with God's design. To waste mercy is to treat holy delay as permission to drift. Do not despise strange mercy. It has been your teacher. It has shown you that God's ways are higher than yours, His timing wiser than yours, His patience greater than yours. And this awareness humbles you. You realize you are carried not by your perfection, but by His compassion. Chosen one. If you reflect honestly, you will see patterns where mercy rescued you. The opportunity you almost grabbed, but didn't, the one that would have trapped you. The words you almost spoke, but swallowed, the ones that would have wounded deeply. The path you almost chose, but turned away from, the one that would have led to ruin. Mercy was there, steering you without your knowledge. Let this truth settle. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is power restrained. It is heaven's way of saying, I am not finished with you. And so, as you move forward, carry gratitude for the strange mercies of your journey. They are the evidence that you are watched over, guided, and prepared. They remind you that you are not abandoned to chaos. You are being shaped by the unseen hand of a Father who knows what lies ahead. The mercy that preserved you yesterday is the same mercy that propels you today. It will not fail, because it is rooted in everlasting love. And this love is the atmosphere in which chosen ones are formed. Chosen one, silence has been your furnace. The seasons when no one applauded you, when no one saw you, when your heart broke in hidden places, those were the very times your armor was being forged. You thought you were forgotten, but in truth, heaven was hammering strength into your soul. Every unanswered prayer was a stroke of fire shaping metal. Every delay, a cooling breath to harden the steel of your spirit. Armor is not made in public, it is formed in obscurity. A sword left unfinished is useless in battle, and a warrior without armor is exposed. That is why God hid you for so long, because what He is preparing you to face requires strength that cannot be faked. Think of David, alone with his sheep, practicing with a sling while no one noticed. Those hidden hours prepared him for a giant he had never seen. The battles you fought in silence against despair, against loneliness, against temptation are the battles that built your armor. Now, when the world looks at you, they see scars, but heaven sees polished iron. The Word of God reminds us in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 13, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." End quote. Chosen one, your armor is not decorative. It is functional. It is what allows you to withstand storms others collapse under. And this armor was not given cheaply. It was forged through years of endurance, nights of weeping, and choices of obedience when no one else was watching. Now, as we walk together through this message, let me pause and speak plainly. What you receive here is not entertainment, it is nourishment for your soul. Just as armor must be polished and maintained, so too must voices like this one be sustained to continue releasing words that strengthen you. When you press like, you are not tapping an icon, you are striking a drum in a valley. That single beat echoes across the hills, awakening other warriors who have been lulled to sleep. Your simple act becomes a sound of war, a rallying call for the chosen ones, scattered in silence. When you share, you are not forwarding a video, you are scattering seed into the wind. You may never see where each seed lands, but some will fall on barren soil, and suddenly life will burst forth. A single share can become bread for a starving soul. When you subscribe, you are not joining a channel, you are stepping into a circle of fire where torches burn together. Alone, your flame flickers. Together, the blaze becomes unstoppable. Subscription is not about numbers. It is about choosing to stand in a camp where your spirit is reminded daily of its strength. And when you donate, listen closely. It is not payment. It is partnership. Think of a lighthouse on the cliffs. Its light does not belong to one traveler. It shines for every ship struggling in the storm. But that lamp requires oil to burn. A gift, no matter how small, is like a drop of holy oil poured into the lamp, ensuring the flame never dies. By giving, you are saying, "I will not let the light go out for those still at sea." This is never a demand. There is no pressure here. No price tag is attached to your soul. What you hear is an invitation, and only if your spirit stirs should you respond. For one coin dropped in faith carries more power in heaven than gold given in pride. Generosity is never measured by amount, but by the heart from which it flows. So, whether you like, Whether you share, whether you subscribe, whether you donate, every action is seed. And seed never disappears. It transforms. It drops into the soil of eternity. And in time, harvest always comes. Chosen one, remember, the armor you wear today was forged in silence, but it shines brightest in the company of others who stand beside you. You are not walking alone. Every act of support, whether small or great, fuels this fire so that chosen ones across the world are reminded of who they are. Your life has been hidden long enough. Your armor is ready. The time to stand is now. And as you stand, remember, you are both a warrior and a light bearer, both shielded and shining, both protected and prophetic. The silence that shaped you has become the strength that crowns you. Chosen one, when the night deepens and silence grows heavy, that is often when heaven speaks most clearly. There are times when God does not wait for daylight to send his message. He sends it in the hours when you feel most vulnerable. You may think you are restless, but in truth you are being stirred. You may call it insomnia, but often it is visitation. The voice that breaks the night does not come with thunder, but with a whisper. It is subtle, yet undeniable. It presses on your heart, calling you to pay attention. Many ignore it, rolling back into sleep. But those who are chosen feel it differently. You know when something beyond you is tugging at your spirit. Think of Samuel as a child, lying in the temple. In the stillness of the night he heard his name, not once, but 3 times, until he understood it was God calling. That same pattern still unfolds today. The whisper comes in repetition, and you are left with a choice. Dismiss it as imagination or respond as a servant who says, "Speak, for I am listening." Zather, perhaps you have experienced it, the sudden thought that enters your mind at midnight, the dream that clings to you even after you wake, the heaviness that makes you fall to your knees with no explanation. These are not accidents. These are the fingerprints of heaven. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 15, "Whoever has ears, let them hear." And this is not about physical hearing. It is about spiritual sensitivity. The chosen are trained to hear what others dismiss, to notice what others overlook. The world sleeps while you are awakened, not because God delights in keeping you tired, but because he knows your spirit is tuned to frequencies others cannot catch. Night is also symbolic. It represents the seasons when your path feels uncertain, when clarity is hidden, when the weight of your questions presses hard. Yet it is in that very night that revelation often comes. A word in the darkness has power because it is light. Think of Jacob wrestling with the angel until dawn. He limped afterward, but he also walked with a new name. Encounters in the night may leave marks, but they also leave transformation. Your midnight moments are not empty. They are encounters shaping your identity. Chosen one, let me speak something over you. The interruptions you've faced are not random. They are divine alarms. When your spirit feels unsettled at night, consider the possibility that heaven is breaking through. God does not waste whispers. Every stirring in your soul carries a purpose. This is why I ask you not to brush off these moments. Do not silence them with noise. Do not bury them with distraction. Lean into them. Ask, "Lord, what are you saying?" That simple posture of listening can shift the course of your life. Now, Here is where I invite you to respond, not with empty ritual, but with a prophetic sign. Write this number in the comments. 222. Why this number? Because 2 is the number of agreement, where two agree on earth. It shall be done in heaven. By repeating it 3 times, you are declaring complete alignment agreement between you and God, between promise and fulfillment, between heaven's call and your response. Writing 222 is your way of saying, I am in covenant. I choose to agree with what heaven has spoken over me. I will not resist the whisper. I will walk with it. Understand the depth of this act. Agreement creates access. When you align yourself with God's voice, doors open that were once shut. When you declare 222, you are not just typing digits, you are sealing your spirit's consent. You are saying, yes, Lord, I hear you. Yes, Lord, I trust you. Yes, Lord, I move with you. Picture it like standing at a locked gate with another person, alone. Your strength cannot push it open, but together, in agreement, the gate swings wide. That is the power of 222. It symbolizes that you are no longer striving alone, but standing in unity with heaven itself. So, the next time the night feels long, the next time you sense a stirring, do not despise it. Recognize it. Embrace it. You are not restless. You are being readied. You are not sleepless. You are being summoned. And the one who calls you in the night is the same, one who will carry you into the dawn. Remember this, every midnight whisper is a rehearsal for morning glory. What seems like disturbance is preparation. What feels like interruption is initiation. Night calls are heaven's way of training your ears for destiny's language. Chosen one, you have carried burdens heavier than most can imagine. Not the kind that can be seen by eyes or weighed on scales, but the kind that press upon the soul. Shame, regret, disappointment. These were stones in your backpack as you walked through life's valleys. Many would have collapsed under the weight, but somehow you endured. And now, heaven reveals the mystery. What once crushed you has been transformed into currency for your calling. Shame is a thief when left unchecked. It whispers lies that chain you to the past, convincing you that you are disqualified, unworthy, or beyond redemption. But in the kingdom, shame does not get the final word. Grace intercepts it. Grace rewrites the narrative. Grace takes what was once a scarlet stain and turns it into a banner of testimony. Think of the Apostle Peter. He denied Christ 3 times. A failure that could have branded him forever. Shame could have silenced his voice. Yet mercy restored him, and the same Peter who once trembled in fear stood later before thousands, proclaiming the gospel with fire. His greatest failure became the platform for his greatest ministry. Chosen one, that is your story too. Your shame has been converted. Heaven has exchanged it for authority. What you thought disqualified you is now what qualifies you to speak life into others. Where you once felt small, you are now equipped with compassion. Where you once felt broken, you are now filled with empathy. The very weight you carried has become oil that others desperately need. The prophet Hosea recorded these words in chapter 2, verse 15. There I will give her back her vineyards, and will make the valley of Achor a door of hope. The valley of Achor was a place of trouble. marked by sin and judgment. Yet God promised to transform that place of sorrow into a gateway of hope. This is what He has done with you. Your valleys have not been wasted. They have become doors. The shame that once locked you in has become the doorway through which others will find freedom. Imagine a blacksmith melting down rusted chains. What once bound a prisoner is now recast into the blade of a sword. The material is the same, but the purpose has changed. This is what heaven has done with your shame. The very weight that imprisoned you has been reforged into strength, a weapon in your hand for battles ahead. Do not despise the years you carried regret. They taught you compassion. Do not despise the nights you wept alone. They made you tender. Do not despise the mistakes that once defined you. They now remind you of the mercy that redefined you. You are not merely a survivor, you are a redeemer of stories. You walk into rooms where people hide their wounds, and because of what you have lived, you can say, "I understand." And in that understanding, chains begin to break. Chosen one, heaven is showing you that nothing has been wasted. Every misstep, every failure, every season of wandering has been folded into a greater plan. What the enemy intended for destruction has become the very soil where your calling takes root. There is a beauty here that only those who have walked through shame can understand. It is the beauty of humility. You do not stand with pride, pretending you have never fallen. You stand with grace, acknowledging that you fell, but you rose, and in your rising, you testify of the one who lifted you. Picture a mosaic made of shattered glass. Each fragment on its own is jagged and ugly, but when arranged under the hands of an artist, the broken pieces form a picture that glows with light. That is your life. The broken pieces of shame and regret have been arranged into a masterpiece that tells of redemption. Chosen one, let this truth echo in your heart. Shame is no longer your name. It has been exchanged. In its place stands purpose. Where shame said, "You are finished," purpose now says, "You are just beginning." So walk boldly, not as one disqualified, but as one recommissioned, not as one weighed down, but as one released. Your past is not your prison, it is your platform. And from that platform, you will declare hope into valleys where others are still trapped. What once felt like a debt has now been paid. And the receipt reads, "Redeemed." Never forget your scars are not stains. They are signatures. They prove that grace rewrote your story. And your life itself is the testimony. Chosen one. Now we step into a hidden battlefield, the accusations that whisper in silence, the unseen voice that has tried to define you by lies. You have felt it in your mind, in the weight of thoughts that come uninvited. These are not just random feelings, they are arrows sent by an unseen accuser, hoping to fracture your confidence and weaken your resolve. The enemy's oldest tactic is accusation. He did it in the garden when he questioned Eve, twisting truth with subtle words. He did it in the wilderness when he tempted Jesus, offering shortcuts wrapped in deception. And he does it still in your life, attempting to plant seeds of doubt, shame, and fear. Yet, here is the truth. Accusations lose their power when exposed. Shadows only exist where light has not yet entered. When heaven speaks your identity, the lies of the accuser dissolve. Consider the story of Job. The accuser stood before God, pointing fingers. insisting that Job's faith was fragile, that his devotion was shallow. But Job's endurance became the testimony that silenced accusation. What was meant to destroy him only deepened his intimacy with God. Chosen one. The accusations against you have followed a similar pattern. They say you are not enough. You are disqualified. You are forgotten. But heaven's courtroom has already spoken otherwise. The voice of the accuser may echo, but the voice of the advocate thunders louder. The ancient words in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 33, declare, "Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? It is God who justifies." Do you see the weight of that promise? The accusations are dismissed before they even enter the court. The verdict has already been written, and it reads, justified, redeemed, chosen. Your identity is not decided by the enemy's lies, but by the eternal decree of heaven. Imagine this. A painter signs his name on a canvas. No matter what critics say, no matter how many try to smudge the colors, the signature proves its worth. You are God's signature. No accusation can erase what his hand has sealed. Accusations often attack in the quiet. When you are alone with your thoughts, they whisper, "You are a failure. You will never change. You are not loved." And yet, when you measure them against truth, they crumble, because truth says, you are forgiven. You are transformed. You are loved with everlasting love. Oh, chosen one, learn to confront the lies. Do not accept every voice that enters your mind as truth. Test it. If it condemns without hope, it is not the voice of God. If it drags you down without lifting you up, it is not the shepherd's whisper. God corrects. Yes, but always with purpose. Always with restoration in sight. Think of accusations like smoke. They can cloud your vision, sting your eyes, make you cough, but they have no substance. One gust of wind clears them. The Spirit of God is that wind. When you breathe Him in, the smoke lifts, and you see clearly again. You may have noticed that accusations often strike hardest after moments of progress. When you take a step forward, suddenly doubts swarm. Who do you think you are? Do you really believe you can do this? This is not coincidence, it is resistance. The accuser fears your advancement, because every step you take is territory taken back from darkness. So, what is your defense? Not silence, not self-justification. Your defense is truth. Spoken boldly, Jesus himself answered accusation in the wilderness with words, "It is written." In the same way, you answer lies with promises. You do not fight shadows with fists, you fight them by turning on the light. Chosen one. Let this be clear. You are not defined by accusations, but by adoption. You are not marked by guilt, but by grace. Your name is not failure, it is favored. Picture a courtroom where the enemy shouts, accusations. But before he finishes, the judge raises his hand and says, "Case dismissed." That is your reality. The case against you has already been closed. The blood of Jesus sealed the verdict, and the accuser has no more legal ground. This does not mean accusations will cease. They may still come, like echoes bouncing against walls. But echoes cannot harm you. They are sound without substance, noise without power. You walk forward, not because the enemy is silent, but because his voice has been stripped of authority. Chosen one. Rest in this truth. The unseen accuser has been exposed. His lies no longer define you. His whispers no longer bind you. You are free, not because of your own defense, but because heaven itself has spoken on your behalf. Walk forward with that assurance. You are not on trial anymore. You are already declared chosen. Chosen one. Courage has always been the dividing line. Some hear the call of destiny and shrink back, while others feel the same, trembling but step forward anyway. Courage is not about the absence of fear. It is about obedience in the presence of fear. You are being summoned now to that place of decision. Think of Joshua standing before the Jordan River, leading a people who had never crossed such waters before. He was not given the comfort of a bridge, nor the luxury of certainty. What he had instead was a command: step into the water, and I will part it. Courage demanded movement before the miracle. Your life has reached a similar riverbank. Fear tells you to wait until everything is clear. Courage tells you to move, even when clarity is absent. This is where heaven separates the hesitant from the bold, the watchers from the warriors, the hearers from the doers. The Apostle James reminds us in chapter 1, verse 22, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. This is the essence of covenant courage, not just hearing, but doing. Not just nodding at truth, but walking in it. Your agreement with God is proven not by what you say, but by the steps you take when no one is watching. Courage is costly, but it always carries reward. The moment you act, you step into partnership with God's power, like Peter stepping out of the boat. Your faith meets his strength, and what seemed impossible becomes possible. Let me paint this image for you. Courage is like a key in your pocket. You can hold it forever, admire its shine, even tell others about it, but the door will never open until you use it. Action is the turn of the key. Without it, destiny remains locked. Chosen one, you are being invited to use your key. The courage you show now will echo into generations. Others will eat fruit from the tree you plant today, but only if you are bold enough to put the seed into the ground. And here is the moment of your response. I ask you to type in the comments, I will act. Keep it short. Keep it clear. 3 words. Yet they carry the weight of your decision. When you write it, you are doing more than posting. You are prophesying. You are telling heaven, earth, and even your own doubts, I will not live frozen. I will not be chained by hesitation. I will move forward. Do you realize how powerful such a declaration is? Many talk about courage but never step into it. When you say, I will act, you are crossing a line in the sand. You are declaring that today is not just another day of hearing, you are choosing to live it. Courage may not always roar. Sometimes it is the quiet decision you make in the shadows. The whispered, yes, when everything inside you trembles. But heaven measures those whispers, and they resound like thunder in the spiritual realm. Chosen one. Do not wait until you feel ready. Readiness often comes after movement, not before. Step first, and strength will rise to meet you. This is the covenant of courage. You act, and God confirms. So let these words settle deep. Your courage is not for nothing. It is the seed of breakthrough, the foundation of legacy, the spark that ignites destinies beyond your own. Others are waiting for you to be bold, because your act of courage will become their permission slip to act as well. Do not hold back. Do not delay. Stand, speak, and step. Heaven is watching, cheering, and waiting for your movement. Courage, chosen one, is contagious. When you take the first step, others who have been frozen by fear suddenly find the strength to move, like torches lighting one after another in a dark cavern. Your flame sparks a chain reaction. One person's courage has the power to break entire atmospheres of hesitation. Think of it this way: a single stone thrown into a still lake creates ripples that spread to every shore. Your decision to act is that stone. The ripples of your obedience will touch lives you may never meet, heal wounds you may never see, and open doors for generations you will never know. This is why your courage matters. It is not just about you, it is about the legacy of light that flows through you. Your step today becomes tomorrow's testimony. What you begin now, others will finish, and heaven will remember. Chosen one, the marks you carry, the scars on your soul, the trials etched into your memory are not there to shame you. They are constellations. Scars on the earth look like cracks, but scars in the heavens form stars. What you thought were random wounds are, in truth, a map, charting your journey from pain to purpose. It is easy to look at scars and see only damage, but scars are proof of survival. They tell the story of battles fought and endured. They whisper, "I was hurt, but I was not destroyed. But I did not die. I stumbled, but I rose again." That testimony alone is a crown. We read in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." This is the rhythm of heaven. Every wound that bled becomes a place where healing enters. Every crack becomes a channel for light. You are not less because of your scars, you are more. You carry wisdom, empathy, resilience. You carry a light that can guide others who still wander in darkness. Think of the night sky. No star is visible without darkness, and no constellation forms without scars. In the same way, your darkest nights have become the backdrop that makes your light shine brightest. Chosen one. Let me speak gently now about something important. Voices like this one, messages like this, do not float in from nowhere. They require oil to keep burning, just like lamps in a temple. And you, if you have found strength in these words, can choose to become part of that flame. When you press like, you are not simply tapping a cymbal. You are striking a bronze bell in a silent village. The echo spreads through valleys and mountains, awakening hearts that thought they were forgotten, letting them know light is still alive. When you share, you are not just sending a link. You are releasing a lantern onto a river. The current will carry it far, and somewhere downstream, a lost traveler will see the glow and find their way home. When you subscribe, you are not adding to a number. You are stepping into a circle of fire in the desert night, where warriors stand shoulder to shoulder, torches raised together. This is not membership, it is covenant. It is family formed in flame. And when you donate, remember, you are not buying God's presence. You are carrying oil to the lighthouse on the cliff. The keeper tends the flame faithfully, but without oil, the light cannot shine. Your gift, however small, is like pouring a drop of holy oil into that lamp so that ships tossed in stormy seas can see the way to safety. Even a single drop can keep the fire burning for another night. But let me be clear, this is never demanded of you. It is never a price or condition. It is an invitation, a choice of love. If your spirit stirs, give freely, joyfully, as an act of worship. If not, you are still welcome, still chosen, still carried by the same mercy. Generosity in heaven's eyes is not measured by amount, but by heart. The widow's 2 coins still echo through eternity because she gave with devotion. What matters is not how much you give, but whether you listen and respond to the whisper within. So whether you like, whether you share, whether you subscribe, whether you donate, every act is a seed, and no seed planted in love dies. It may lie hidden for a season, but it will rise in time, bearing fruit that nourishes many. Chosen one. Let your scars remind you of this truth. Your survival is not just about you. You are a constellation in someone else's night sky. Your story, your endurance, your light will guide others who cannot yet see the way. And every small act you choose, whether striking the bell, releasing the lantern, stepping into the fire circle, or pouring oil into the lighthouse, becomes part of the constellation of hope. Together, they form a map for weary travelers to follow back to the heart of God. So walk with this awareness. You are both scarred and shining, both wounded and healing, both tested and triumphant. You are the proof that light wins, and every time you choose to act in love, the sky grows brighter for all who look up. And remember, light is never wasted. Even the faintest flicker carries power in the darkest night. What you carry inside is not small, it is sacred. The world may overlook it, but heaven never will. Shine freely, for your light was meant to multiply. Chosen one. Not every door that opens is meant to be walked through. Not every field that glitters is gold. And not every hand extended is a friend. Life is filled with harvests that look promising but are laced with traps, and helpers who appear hidden but are truly heaven-sent. Discernment is the gift that separates the two. You have known moments when provision came, but it did not bring peace. It looked like an answer, but carried chains. Opportunities arrived, dressed in beauty, yet behind them lurked exhaustion, compromise, or distraction. These are hostile harvests. They appear fruitful, but when you taste them, they sour. Their roots are poisoned by motives that do not align with heaven's plan for your life. At the same time, you have walked past what seemed like barren places, only to find later that they contained the richest soil. You have met people overlooked by others, dismissed as insignificant, but who carried words of truth and strength that lifted you. These are hidden helpers, treasures wrapped in humility, messengers disguised as ordinary souls. The Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12, warns us, there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. 1. This is why discernment is vital. Hostile harvests are seductive because they appear easy. They tempt you with shortcuts, quick gains, easy victories, applause without authenticity. But the chosen one is called to recognize that not every gain is growth. Not every crowd is confirmation. Not every blessing is from God. Think of Israel in the wilderness. When manna fell each morning, it was humble and ordinary, but it sustained them with life. Yet when they craved more, When they looked beyond God's provision, they stumbled into judgment. Hostile harvests often arise when impatience takes root. They offer speed, but rob you of longevity. On the other hand, hidden helpers rarely arrive with fanfare. They come like Ruth, walking quietly beside Naomi, unnoticed by most, but carrying the seed of destiny. They come like Jonathan, risking his life to strengthen David's heart. They come like the boy with loaves and fish, bringing little yet sparking abundance. Hidden helpers are heaven's secret strategy. They carry what you need, not always what you want. Chosen one. Pause and reflect. How many times have you chased what sparkled, only to discover it drained you? How many times did you almost miss the quiet voice that spoke life because it did not shout? Discernment is the compass that keeps you aligned. Picture two fields. One looks lush, rows of crops stretching to the horizon. The other looks bare, soil cracked, nothing but dust. But beneath the barren soil lie seeds waiting for the rain. The lush field, meanwhile, has roots tangled in thorns and weeds. Without discernment, you would run toward the wrong field. With discernment, you would wait for the hidden seeds to rise. Discernment comes through humility. It is birthed in prayer, sharpened in patience, refined in stillness. It is not the loudest answer, but the truest one. To cultivate it, you must slow down, listen, test the fruit, and ask, does this draw me closer to God's presence, or does it pull me away? Chosen one. Understand that discernment is not suspicion. Suspicion assumes the worst in everyone. Discernment listens for the voice of God in everything. Suspicion builds walls, but discernment builds wisdom. It teaches you when to step back, when to step forward, and when to wait. The world celebrates speed, but the chosen walk with precision. The world pursues noise, but the chosen follow whispers. The world bows to appearances, but the chosen seek substance. That is why discernment is your crown. It keeps you from being deceived, and it positions you to receive what is truly meant for you. So, learn to bless the helpers who walk quietly beside you, even if the world ignores them. Learn to walk away from harvests that glitter but poison your soul. Learn to wait, even when impatience claws at you, for the right provision at the right time. This is the mark of maturity, not grabbing everything within reach, but choosing what aligns with your calling. Hostile harvests will come. Hidden helpers will appear. But with discernment, you will know the difference. Chosen one. Let this truth rest in you. You are not destined to be deceived. You are not left wandering blind. The Spirit of God within you is your guide, your compass, your light, and with Him, you will not mistake counterfeit for crown. Chosen one. There are moments in your journey when heaven places a seal on your heart. It is not a seal of silence, but of confirmation. After walking through fire, after standing through storms, after resisting the lies of the accuser, you are invited to mark your agreement with God's promise. This is one of those moments. Promises are powerful. They are not just words spoken, they are contracts between heaven and earth. When God speaks a promise, time itself bends to make it true. But promises also require response. It is not enough to hear. The chosen must affirm, must stand, must say, yes, Lord, I receive. Think of Abraham. He was shown stars in the sky and sand by the sea. Those were not just images, they were prophetic numbers, visual seals of a covenant. Every time he looked up or down, he was reminded, God has promised, and I have agreed. In the same way, you are being invited into a prophetic act of agreement, not because God needs proof, but because your heart does. When you declare outwardly what you have received inwardly, it becomes rooted, the unseen becomes visible, and faith grows legs to walk. The letter to the Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 23, reminds us, let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Chosen one. Notice the word profess. Hope is not silent. It must be spoken. Declared, affirmed. When you profess, you are not trying to convince yourself. You are building an altar with your words, a place where your faith can rest and others can witness. This is why I ask you now to write a number in the comments. 555. Why this number? Because 5 is the number of grace. Grace that covers. Grace that strengthens. Grace that carries you when you cannot walk. By writing it 3 times, you declare a fullness of grace over your life. Grace upon grace upon grace. When you type 555, you are saying, I stand under grace. I am carried by grace. My past, my present, and my future are sealed in grace. It is not superstition. It is a prophetic echo, a visible sign of an invisible reality. Think of a seal pressed into wax. The wax alone has no image, but when pressed by the seal, it carries identity, authority, permanence. Your declaration of 555 is like that seal. It stamps grace onto your journey in a visible way. This is more than numbers. It is testimony. Imagine someone stumbling across your comment and seeing those digits. They may not know the full story, but the Spirit can stir their heart. They may whisper, "What does this mean?" And in their seeking, they may find the same grace you have found. Chosen one. Do not underestimate these prophetic acts. They are simple, but they carry weight. They are like stones of remembrance placed by the Jordan River signs for you, for others, and for generations to come, that God has been faithful here, and grace is exactly what you need for what lies ahead. Grace is not just forgiveness, it is empowerment. Grace is the breath in your lungs when you want to give up. Grace is the hand that steadies you when your knees shake. Grace is the oil that keeps your lamp burning through the longest night. By declaring 555, you align yourself with that truth. You are saying, I will not walk by my strength alone. I will walk under the canopy of grace. Think of a traveler under the desert sun, without shade. He collapses, but beneath the canopy, he rests. He regains strength. He continues. That canopy is grace. Without it, you burn out. Under it, you endure. Chosen one. This is why you pause now to respond, to mark your agreement, to place your seal, because promises require participation, and participation requires faith expressed. So, let your heart rise, let your hand move, let your voice, even in written form, declare, I am chosen, and I am covered by grace. And when you look back on this moment, You will not see empty digits. You will see a memorial stone, a reminder of the night you aligned your heart with heaven's promise. Grace has carried you this far. Grace will carry you further still. And your declaration today will echo into every tomorrow that awaits you. Never forget 555 is not about numbers on a screen, but about covenant etched into eternity. Every time you see it, you will remember. Grace has the first word. Grace has the last word. And grace holds every word in between. Your life, chosen one, is the canvas where grace paints victory over defeat, beauty over ashes, and destiny over delay. Chosen one, the fire you have endured has not been meaningless. Every trial, every hardship, every long night of wrestling was preparing you for something far greater than survival. You are not simply being refined to stand, you are being refined to reign. The throne you are being prepared for is not made of gold and jewels, but of authority, influence, and responsibility in the kingdom. Trials are not accidents. They are assignments. They test the core of your being, strip away the illusions of self-sufficiency, and expose what is eternal. Like ore in the furnace, you have been placed in heat so that impurities might rise, and what is pure might remain. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is purposeful. Think of Joseph again, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned for years. To the world, it looked like failure, stacked upon failure. Yet every trial was aligning him with destiny. By the time he stood before Pharaoh, he was no longer the dream-filled boy. He was a leader, tempered by suffering, capable of ruling with wisdom and mercy. The pit and the prison were not detours, they were classrooms. So it has been with you. Every betrayal you endured was not simply pain, it was training in resilience. Every loss you carried was not simply emptiness, it was preparation for stewardship. Every silence you walked through was not simply absence, it was an invitation to deepen your roots in God's presence. The Apostle Peter wrote in his first letter, chapter 1, verses 6 and 7, "Though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials, these have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith of greater worth than gold, which perishes, even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Oh, this is the truth of your journey. Faith is not proven in comfort, it is proven in conflict. It is not crowned in ease, it is crowned in endurance. Every trial you have faced has been a refiner's fire, burning away fear, doubt, and pride, leaving behind a faith that shines brighter than gold. Chosen one. Picture a throne carved from stone, waiting in a great hall. It cannot be occupied by the untested, for its weight demands strength. The one who sits there must carry scars that testify of battles endured. You have been prepared for that throne, not because of your perfection, but because of your perseverance. And yet, do not misunderstand. The throne you are being prepared for is not about domination, it is about service. Kingdom authority is measured not in how many bow before you, but in how many you lift up. Your trials have trained you not to crush others with power, but to cover them with compassion. You will rule not with an iron fist, but with a tender heart tempered by fire. Consider how a shepherd becomes a king. David did not step into the throne because of ambition. He stepped into it because trials had forged him into one who could be trusted with the weight of people's lives. The lion, the bear, the giant, all were training grounds. So too, the hardships you faced have made you trustworthy. The trial has not been your enemy, it has been your tutor. It has taught you what sermons could not, what books could not, what applause could not. It has given you wisdom forged in pain, discernment born in silence, strength birthed in surrender. Do not despise the fire you walked through. It has left marks, yes, but those marks are your qualifications. They are proof that you can endure, that you can stand, that you can carry responsibility without crumbling. Chosen one, hear this: crowns are not given lightly. Thrones are not entrusted carelessly. Heaven chooses carefully who will carry influence, who will bear authority. And you have been found faithful in trials. That faithfulness has written your name on a throne. So when you look back on your trials, see them not as wasted years, but as sacred preparation. The pit, the prison, the betrayals, the losses, they were chiseling you, shaping you, refining you. You were not buried. You were planted, and the throne you are being raised into will reveal that truth. Your story will become testimony. Your scars will become authority. Your endurance will become the foundation upon which others find strength. This is your inheritance, not just to survive trials, but to be crowned through them, to rise not as a victim of pain, but as a ruler shaped by it, to sit, not in arrogance, but in gratitude, knowing the fire that nearly consumed you has instead anointed you. Chosen one, your trial has been long, but the throne is near, and when you take your place, heaven will echo with the truth. You were not crushed, you were crowned. Chosen one. There comes a time when the path narrows so sharply that every distraction must fall away. The season of comfort ends, and suddenly the road is stripped to its core. This narrowing is not punishment, it is mercy withdrawing its cushion so that obedience must now become precise. Up until now, you have been given space to stumble, room to grow, and seasons to wrestle. But now, the Spirit draws a line, one step to the left or right, and the way forward closes. This is the holy urgency of obedience. The window is not infinite. It opens for a season, then it closes. Think of Noah. He preached while the ark was still being built, and mercy held back the reins. But when the door shut, the time of choice ended. What had been a wide-open invitation suddenly became a narrow refuge. Those who hesitated found the way closed. This is the mystery of God's timing. Patience is vast, but not endless. Chosen one. You may feel that pressing now. Decisions that once seemed flexible are suddenly sharp. Paths that once felt broad are tightening. What was tolerated yesterday now weighs heavily today. This is because the Spirit is drawing you closer to purity, closer to precision, closer to the narrowness of destiny. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 14, declares, "But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." This is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. Life is not found on the broad road of compromise. Life flows in the narrow places, where surrender is complete and obedience is costly. The narrowing is not rejection, It is invitation to walk in the footsteps of the faithful. Picture a river moving through a canyon. Wide waters flow lazily, but as the canyon narrows, the water speeds up, becoming powerful enough to carve rock. That is what is happening in you. The narrowing is increasing your velocity. It is stripping away excess, focusing your energy, sharpening your spirit. It is not easy. Narrow roads require letting go. You cannot carry everything with you. Old habits, comfortable compromises, unnecessary weights, they cannot pass through the gate. The narrowing demands a decision. What will you release so you can enter? Think of Lot's wife, delivered from destruction, yet she turned back. Her longing for what was behind kept her from stepping fully into what was ahead. The narrowing tolerates no backward glances. To hesitate is to lose momentum. To cling is to remain outside. Chosen one. The seriousness of this moment cannot be overstated. You are not standing on a casual path. You are standing at a gate that only a few find, and the Spirit is calling you to step through without delay. But take courage. The narrow path, though costly, carries glory. It is the place where intimacy deepens, where distractions fade, where your footsteps echo with heaven's rhythm. On the broad road, voices clamor and confusion reigns. On the narrow road, the shepherd's voice is clear. Your obedience here will open what nothing else can. When you choose the narrow, you align with eternity. You step into the flow of those who walked before you, Abraham leaving his homeland, Moses refusing the pleasures of Egypt, Mary saying yes to an impossible call. They all faced the narrowing, and they all stepped through. Chosen one. You are not alone in this. The narrowing may feel lonely, but you walk in a lineage of saints who also gave up much to gain everything. The cost is high, but the inheritance is immeasurable. So let this truth steady you. Mercy has not abandoned you. It has simply shifted. What once covered mistakes now calls you higher. What once gave you space now gives you focus. Mercy has not vanished, it has matured. And in that maturity, you are summoned to rise. Do not fear the narrowing. It is the mark of being chosen. It is proof that you are trusted with more. And beyond the narrow gate lies a life that few ever touch, but many long for. Chosen one. Step with clarity. Step with obedience. Step without turning back. For the road is narrowing, but it is leading you into life. The narrowing is not meant to break you, but to define you. Like a sculptor chiseling stone, every strike removes what does not belong, revealing the masterpiece within. This moment is shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of true purpose without distraction. And beyond this narrowing, the horizon opens. Life, not in fragments, but in fullness. Joy, not in fleeting pleasures, but in eternal strength. What feels restrictive now will soon prove liberating, for the narrow road leads to a wide inheritance. Chosen one. Crowns are rarely placed in crowded halls. They are placed in hidden chambers, in quiet moments, upon heads that bent low long before they stood tall. Coronation is not the reward of the proud, it is the unveiling of the humble. You have been among the quiet ones, those overlooked, those who endured in silence. And now heaven whispers, your coronation is near. The world crowns the loud, but God crowns the faithful. The world exalts those who push forward, but heaven raises those who bow down. You may have felt unseen, uncelebrated, even forgotten, but heaven has been watching. Every prayer whispered in the night, every sacrifice you thought went unnoticed, every act of obedience that cost you something, these are jewels in your crown. The Apostle John writes in his first letter, chapter 4, verse 1, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." Why this verse here? Because coronation comes with responsibility. As you step into greater authority, discernment must guard your heart. Not every voice that praises you speaks truth. Not every door that opens leads to destiny. The crown is not just honor, it is stewardship, and you must wear it with wisdom. Chosen one. Think of a garden at dawn. The blossoms open quietly, without trumpet or applause. Yet the fragrance fills the air. That is what your coronation will be like. It may not come with human celebration, but it will carry the fragrance of heaven. And now let me speak gently about the ways you can choose to participate in this unfolding coronation. None of these are demands. They are invitations, beautiful, voluntary, sacred. When you press like, it is not about a button. It is about adding a golden thread to the tapestry of this community. One thread alone is fragile, but many threads together weave a banner that declares, "The chosen ones rise." Your single touch is part of that fabric. When you share, it is not about algorithms. It is about carrying the crown's light into another's darkness. Imagine placing a lamp in the window of a weary traveler's home. They may not know who lit it, but its glow will guide them back to safety. Your share becomes that lamp. When you subscribe, it is not about numbers. It is about taking your seat in the royal court, returning again and again to be strengthened. Think of it like joining a circle of kings and queens around a fire. Alone, a flame flickers. Together, it becomes a blaze that cannot be ignored. Subscription is not membership, it is belonging. When you comment, it is not about leaving words on a screen. It is like carving your name into the stones of a royal hall. Generations later, those who walk through will see the markings and know, "I was here. I stood. I believed." Your words become echoes in eternity, testifying that you did not just watch the coronation, you joined it. And when you donate, hear this clearly, it is not about buying favor. It is about placing a jewel into the crown so that it shines brighter for all. Imagine the crown of a king being passed from hand to hand, each person placing one gem of their own. Your gift, however small, becomes one more jewel in a coronation that belongs to many, not one. You are not paying for light, you are adorning it. But always, remember, these acts are invitations, not conditions. If you feel stirred, respond freely. If not, you remain just as welcome, just as chosen, just as crowned. The King of Heaven does not weigh you by what you give, but by the love with which you walk. Every act, whether like, share, subscribe, comment, or donate, is a prophetic gesture. Each one says, "I recognize the crown. I honor the calling. I choose to be part of this story." They are not transactions, they are testimonies. Picture our coronation procession. The crown is placed on the head of the chosen, but the people are not silent. They cheer, they sing, They raise their hands, each person contributing to the atmosphere of honor. In the same way, your simple acts become songs in the atmosphere of this coronation. Chosen one. You are being crowned not because of your perfection, but because of your perseverance. Heaven honors the quiet ones who endured, the unseen ones who stayed faithful, the humble ones who bent low. And now, your head is lifted, and your crown is placed. Walk with this awareness: you are royalty, not because of earthly applause, but because of divine appointment. Carry your crown with humility, with courage, and with discernment. For your coronation is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a reign that serves, uplifts, and glorifies the one who chose you. Chosen one. Before light bursts in, there is often a final door. It is not a door built of wood or stone, but of choices, loyalties, and truth. This last door does not open with casual hands. It tests what you worship, what you trust, and what you truly serve. The final test is rarely external. It does not always come as an enemy or a storm. More often, it comes as a mirror. It asks you, whom do you love most? What do you bow to when the pressure rises? Where do you run when everything is stripped away? These are the questions that reveal your altar. Think of Abraham, walking with Isaac up the mountain. The promise he had waited for was in his hands. Yet God asked, will you lay even this down? It was not about the sacrifice of Isaac. It was about the revelation of Abraham's heart. Would he cling to the gift or trust the giver? That mountain became the last door before light. The letter to the Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. Declares, for the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges thoughts and hearts. This is what the last door does. It divides intentions. It cuts through appearances. It reveals whether obedience is partial or complete, whether worship is convenient or costly. Many walk faithfully until this point. But the last door demands everything. Chosen one. Do not misunderstand. This is not about God seeking to harm you. It is about God inviting you into fullness. Partial surrender cannot carry full glory. Divided loyalty cannot enter undivided light. The last door asks for your idols not because he needs them, but because they will destroy you if you cling to them. Picture a traveler carrying heavy bags, reaching a narrow passage, no matter how strong he is. The doorway will not let him through unless he drops what he holds. That is the image of this test. What you cannot release will hold you back. What you lay down will set you free. Perhaps you already know what this last door touches in your life. It may be pride. It may be fear. It may be an attachment to something or someone that has taken the place of God in your heart. The spirit is gentle but firm, whispering, will you trust me enough to let this go? The narrowing you walked through prepared you for this moment. It stripped distractions so you could see clearly. Now the final door stands before you, and beyond it lies the brightness of your calling. But this door will only open when your heart is aligned. Chosen one. Remember how Jesus faced his own last door in Gethsemane. The weight of the world pressed on him. Sweat like blood fell, and the choice stood before him. Cling to his will or embrace the Father's. His words, not my will, but yours be done, unlocked the door that led to resurrection glory. Your own last door will not carry the same magnitude, but it will echo the same principle. You must decide, is my heart fully His? The beauty of this test is that it is not designed to break you, but to liberate you. What feels like loss becomes life. What feels like surrender becomes strength. What feels like death becomes the doorway to resurrection power. Think of a seed buried in soil. If it refuses to break, it remains a shell. But when it yields, life bursts forth. That is the paradox of the last door. You give up what you think you cannot lose, and in return, you receive what you never imagined. Chosen one, let this truth settle deep. The last door is not your enemy. It is your invitation. It does not block your destiny, it guards it. Only those willing to release what hinders can enter what heals. Only those willing to bow fully can rise completely. So as you stand here, do not be afraid. Look into the mirror of your heart. Acknowledge what competes with your worship. And then, with courage, lay it down. Because on the other side of this door, light is waiting. And once you pass through, you will see that the surrender you feared was the freedom you longed for all along. And when you step through, the chains you once clung to will fall like dust. What once defined you will no longer hold power. The last door, though narrow, opens into a horizon vast with promise, where obedience births authority and surrender gives rise to unshakable joy. Chosen one, there comes a moment when silence breaks, when all the refining, the testing, the waiting, and the wrestling culminate in one reality: you rise. You are not meant to remain bowed forever in ashes, nor to wander endlessly through wilderness seasons. You were chosen not only to endure, but to stand, to speak, and to shine. This rising is not arrogance. It is not the lifting of self by pride. It is the unveiling of what heaven has already spoken over you. You are unshakable. You are unstoppable. You are called for such a time as this. The enemy tried to bury your voice because he knew its power. He tried to silence your song because he feared its resonance, but he failed. What was pressed down is now springing up. What was hidden in shadows is now stepping into light. You are not emerging by chance. You are being sent with purpose. The prophet Isaiah declares in chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Chosen one, this is your commission. Your rising is not just about you, it is about the glory that rests on you. Light is not light until it shines. A voice is not a voice until it speaks. Your destiny was never silence, it was declaration. Think of a trumpet kept in its case. It may gleam, but until it is lifted to the lips and sounded, it fulfills nothing of its design. In the same way, you are being lifted now. The breath of God fills you, and the sound of your life will pierce through darkness. Your rise does not erase the scars, it magnifies them. For scars are not shame, but testimony. They are like medals pinned on a warrior's chest. Proof of battles fought and won. The world may see weakness, but heaven sees evidence of faithfulness. Chosen one. Rising does not mean you will not face resistance. Even as light dawns, shadows gather. But here is the truth. Shadows have no substance. They are displaced the moment light shines. Opposition may appear, but it cannot overcome. You rise not because circumstances are easy, But because the spirit within you is stronger than all that surrounds you, picture an eagle stretching its wings after a storm. Rain still drips. Clouds still linger. But the eagle knows the currents. It does not flap frantically. It rises on the wind. That is you. Your rising is not striving. It is surrendering to the Spirit's current, letting him lift you higher than your strength ever could. Chosen one. Your voice is needed, not a copy of another voice, not an echo, but your own. The world is filled with noise, yet it is starving for authentic sound. And your life, your story, your endurance, your faith carries a sound no one else can release. This is why heaven has preserved you. You are not a mistake. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are chosen. And chosen ones rise with unstoppable voice. Remember how Esther stepped into her moment. She had been silent, hidden. But the time came when silence was no longer an option. She rose. And in rising, she saved a nation. In the same way, your rising may touch lives far beyond what you can see. What you release in obedience will ripple across generations. Do not wait for permission to rise. The call has already been given. Do not wait for everything to feel perfect. The power is in your step of faith. As you rise, heaven rises with you. As you speak, heaven amplifies your sound. Chosen one. Let this truth mark you. You are unshakable, because your foundation is eternal. You are unstoppable, because your assignment is divine. You are crowned, not because of what you built for yourself, but because of what you surrendered to God. Rise, then not timidly, but boldly. Rise, not for your glory, but for His. Rise, carrying the fire that has burned within you through every season of trial. Rise, and let your voice echo like a trumpet, declaring that light has overcome darkness, and destiny has triumphed over delay. The world will see a warrior, but heaven will see a child of God standing in fullness. And the sound of your rising will not be forgotten. It will be recorded as testimony in eternity. Chosen one. The time is now. Your voice is ready. Your crown is placed. Your steps are ordered. Nothing can hold you back any longer. Rise and keep rising. Chosen one. You have walked through every word of this message, and you did not arrive here by chance. Heaven carved out this moment for you. You have been reminded, warned, encouraged, and crowned with truth. And now, you are invited to carry this flame forward, not just for yourself, but for others still searching in the dark. When you press like, you are striking a match. The glow might seem small, but together, thousands of matches can set a horizon ablaze. Your single touch adds warmth to a fire that never goes out. When you share, you are not forwarding a link, you are handing someone a lantern. You never know who is wandering in shadows, desperate for light. Your act may be the very lamp that guides them home. When you subscribe, it is more than staying connected. It is choosing to return again and again to the well, where water flows freely for thirsty souls. Subscription is not obligation, it is alignment with a stream that continually refreshes you. When you comment, your words are not forgotten. They become stones of remembrance, placed along the path for others to see. By carving even a few words, you are declaring, I was here, I stood, I believed, Your voice joins a chorus that cannot be silenced. And when you donate, understand, it is never a transaction. It is a testimony. You are not buying light, you are fueling it. Your gift is like pouring oil into a lamp that shines far beyond your reach. Even a drop keeps the flame alive for another weary traveler at sea. Chosen one, these are not commands. They are invitations, holy, beautiful, voluntary. If your spirit stirs, act freely. If not, you remain loved, welcomed, chosen, always.